Hi there BookTube, it's Eleanor here, and I thought I'd do a little update on where I'm with my Snakes and Ladder TBR. So it's just been a week into July. I was going to say June then. It's been a week into July and I'm doing quite well so far. I've been making time for reading, and those of you that have watched my TBR and commented and given me some tips for next time, you are 100% true. There is a ridiculous amount of books on there, and I think even if I manage to complete it this month, it's just not sustainable for a regular basis. So next month I am going to be rolling 2 dice, which I'm hoping will cut down on the number of books that end up on the TBR. But for now I'm trying my best with this one, so we'll see how I get on. But I have managed to read 4 books already, which I'm really pleased with. 3 are in a trilogy, so I'm going to talk about them as sort of a collective, and then the other one is a book that was one of my ones that I was hesitant about. So I've got 1 on the fence done and 3 series. So far so good, although not necessarily good in terms of ratings because no 5 stars yet. But I'm going to talk about my least favourite that I've read so far first, and that is unfortunately Ghost Wall by Sarah Moss. Now on paper this one has everything going for it for me. I loved this idea about this family, this mother, father and daughter going to this Iron Age settlement to live. The father very controlling and in fact physically abusive of the 17-year-old Sylvie, and the very start of the book, the first chapter, starts as if there's some sort of sacrifice about to happen, and that really did pull me in, and unfortunately that was the best bit of the book. So as I say, they're at this Iron Age settlement, they've gone to live there. The father's very controlling, he beats Sylvie. The mother is very passive and submissive and just a bit of a wet blanket, and there are other people there. There's anthropology students who are there, and there is an older woman there who acts as a sort of eye-opener for Sylvie, to open her eyes to how her life isn't normal and what's happening to her isn't right and isn't the norm and shouldn't be happening, and sort of makes her question her upbringing and her life, I suppose. And again, when I describe the plot, it sounds like it should be a great read, but it was just boring. There was far too much foreshadowing. There was no emotional connection to any of the characters. The plot dragged. The only thing really I have to say is that the writing style, the description was very lush and you know, very good description, but I think it was to the detriment of the plot and the character development really. So unfortunately with this one I'm gonna give it 2 stars, but I'm not on the fence anymore. At least it's off and out. And then the other 3 books, as I say, are part of a trilogy. They're a YA contemporary trilogy, which I've had for a while and been meaning to read, by Beth Garrard. So it starts with Super Awkward, then we have Truly Madly Awkward, and then we have Access All Awkward. So as I say, YA series trilogy, all following our same main character, Bella. So it took a while for this main character to sort of grow on me. Bella is a 17-year-old girl, and she's written very believably as a 17-year-old girl, and it just took a while because she's got this sort of quirky humour and she's got this 17-year-old girl voice, which I think the reason maybe it jarred me so much is often you read YA books where the protagonists are meant to be 17 but talk like adults, and in this one she acts and behaves and feels like a 17-year-old girl, which was actually really refreshing once I got into it. And once I did get into her voice, I really couldn't get enough of this. The books are light and friendship focused. There's a really supportive group. There's 3 of them that are really close friends. They support each other in everything they do, and I really enjoyed that. I love books where friends are supporting each other. So in the first book, the girls are starting their exams and it's prom coming up, and Bella has had her first sort of crush, and this is following that crush, her awkwardness, how her crush first sees her. She is dressed in a cereal box and doing some sort of acrobatics. I can't remember what it was now. She's at a caravan park, and all things go awry. She's gone away, she's missing the best house party of the year. She's away with her mum, who is sort of a earth mother, and she's a single mum, and she is very much into sort of holistic things things and is always trying new types of things like laughing, yoga and various different things. And she has an older sister, Jo, and all three of them have gone to this caravan park for the week, and Bella doesn't want to be there. And then on this last night she meets this boy, and then we follow that a little bit through, as well as sort of getting to know the characters. The side characters are really fleshed out as well. We have Rachel, who is quite well off. Her family are quite rich, and she's beautiful, and it's just talking about sort of her and her struggles. And then we have Tegan, who spends a lot of time, she's a really good gymnast, and she spends a lot of time training for that. And just about how these three friends bolster each other and support each other, and they end up having to do something for the school prom, which is interesting. Anyway, I don't want to talk too much about it, but this one was really good, and I gave it 4 stars. And then the second one is Truly Madly Awkward, and we're moving now into Bella's first sort of proper relationship with somebody. But is it a boyfriend? She doesn't quite know at the beginning. She doesn't know what's going on. She's trying to work out what the signals mean, and that in itself makes for really fun and interesting reading, especially when Bella is just incredibly awkward, says strange things, and always ends up in these really uncomfortable situations. And then in the final book, it's set at a music festival, and I think this one, the last one I gave 4 stars as well, and this one again was 4 stars, but I'd say out of the 3 this was definitely my favourite. I liked that sort of festival atmosphere, but more than that I really enjoyed the subplot of this, which was calling out a famous person for being very anti-feminist and sexist, and to making a stand and forcing people to listen, and finding ways to garner support to make change. And I really liked that in here. I thought it was done really well. It showed the pitfalls, the problems, the things that they came up against, and although it's sort of wrapped in this sort of light atmosphere, I just thought that was really interesting. So in this book we touch on so many things. Well, in the series, in fact, we touch on virginity, we touch on pressure to succeed, family, friendship, dealing with bullies, feminism, sexism, exam pressure, and it's all wrapped up in this awkward teenage girl's fun and fantastically awkward voice. Yeah, I really recommend, if you like contemporary, you like sort of yeah, I just think these were really good. I really enjoyed them. They were really fun contemporary stories with a really quirky voice. Sometimes hard to read because they were quite awkward, but I really enjoyed ploughing through all 3 of these one after the other. So 4 down, rather a lot to go. I'll come back to you soon when I have read some more and let you know how I'm getting on. But so far so good. So that's it for now, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. Bye for now, BookTube.